welcome back everyone. We are at 3 p.m. IST and now we would like to begin with the next session on the India Dialogue. So I would like to welcome our next speaker, Mr. Mahendra Chauhan, Design Head, Watches and Wearables, Titan Company Limited. Mr. Chauhan is heading the watch and wearables teams of Titan and is playing a very active role in defining Titan's watch design strategy by leading and managing the entire watch and wearable portfolio of Titan. He has been working for over 14 years designing consumer durables and lifestyle products. His work has been produced in many countries and he has won many prestigious national and international awards in product design. He's been awarded the prestigious Red Dot Design Award for designing the world's slimmest watch for the Titan Edge. Over to you, Mr. Chauhan, for sharing the perspective on designing for diversity in fashion and lifestyle.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you, CI, for inviting me here. I hope my screen is visible.
We could see your screen prior, but right now I can see the backdrop actually.
Sure, perfect. It's a part of the session.
Okay.
So it's my absolute privilege to be part of this panel and discuss about diversity in design. Let me start this session by this quote, which has impacted me for many years. And this quote is by Mark Knopfler, and he has written so beautifully that there are so many different worlds, so many different suns, and we have just one world, but still we live in different worlds. I think it so beautifully represents, I would say, current reality, the current context on which we are living, the world which is full of, I would say, racism, egoism, and somehow we need to break that world. So let me introduce you myself. So I'm Mahendra Chauhan. I'm an architect and industrial designer from NID Ahmedabad. I've worked in last 14 years on various companies, and I've designed buildings, bicycles, and currently I'm designing watches and wearable for India's largest company, world's 5th largest watch and wearable company, Titan. On personal front, I'm married to a South Indian. I have a small son, and he's learning to speak Hindi, English, Telugu, and Kannada. And I'm very proudly saying that because we're trying to upbring him in very diverse culture. So today I'll be talking about designing for diversity in lifestyle fashion products. So I've seen the session by Piyush and Shannon. I think they all have created a nice benchmark for what diversity means to us. For me, diversity has multiple facets, and the facet which I'm trying to present you is based on fashion and lifestyle. And this is primarily the work at Titan, which we're doing in this space. So you'll see multiple case studies and how we have used diversity as a key theme to design stunning products for millions of Indians. Well, it is a complex topic with multiple facets and multiple perspectives, but what diversity means to us is essentially designing for this diverse India. We have 28 states, 8 union territories, we speak different languages, and even our aesthetic and design sensibility differ from state to state. So essentially, being sensitive to the needs of people, being sensitive to aesthetic and beautiful perceptional needs of people to design stunning product is what diversity means to us at Titan. Very few people would know that we sell close to 16 million watches every year. It means that around 30 watches are being sold or probably being purchased by a consumer every minute. So that's a lot number. And essentially it happens because the kind of product which we create, it connects people at emotional level. And all our products are driven by a very strong design philosophy. And that is about inspiring everyone to pursue the highest ideal. Notice the word everyone, because that's the core of diversity, which I'll be talking about. So this philosophy design that inspire has 4 large pillars. First and fundamental is democratizing design. Second is consumer centricity. Third is pioneering spirit. and fourth is strategic connect. For today's session, I'll be talking about democratizing design, which is essentially means good design for all, irrespective of body type, skin type, religion, belief system, or culture. And I would say that this pillar has defined a lot of Titan products, which I'll be showing you today. So let me start the first case study. This is by one of our, I would say, India's only women-centered watch and wearable brand, and probably world's only women-centered watch and wearable brand, called Raga. So a few years back, we have done a collection called Raga IM. And this collection builds on a notion that we all are very different. We all have our own imperfections. We all have our own skin type, idiosyncrasies. We have our own attitude, which might be really different from, I would say, the prescribed notion of beauty, which is set by those glossy magazines which people just browse through. And in fact, these differences, these I would say uniqueness, whether it's blemishes or imperfection or your attitude, make us really unique, and in fact make us, I would say, really authentic to people. So this whole notion that perfect beauty is not a stereotype was the backdrop of Raga IM. And in our journey of creating some interesting concepts, we have stumbled upon something which is really nice. And this is one of the, I would say, you must have seen it in various places. People sell such kind of crystals. So this is agate, which is a slice of agate. It is so beautiful, but still it's so unfinished, I would say raw. It has these facets which are not polished. It has this visual oddity, asymmetry, imperfection, but still this product, this ultimate rock crystal is so beautiful. In fact, some of those crystals are probably more beautiful than the polished diamond. So we thought it's such a beautiful design direction to carry forward and design products on this line. So visual oddity, asymmetry, and imperfection was the core design direction. And we have built a collection called Raga IM. None of these watches are symmetrical in some way. They have very unique odd profile cases, neither round nor oval. The crown is shifted towards 9-edge, which is also very different. The studding is actually rock crystal. There's no perfect symmetry you can find in this plate. In fact, most of these products have defined a language, which I would say, they just break the stereotype of standard Western watch concepts. And in fact, whether it's the textures on dial or whether the undulation on the case forms, everything is designed in a way that it all sums up to create a stunning, beautiful product. Obviously, this is the beauty for us, and this is so different from the stereotype, I would say, symmetric watch people talk about. A small video to talk about this in more detail.
Sleep, 4:30 wake up. Dark circles are your only makeup. Wear your scar like a gallantry star. Your bruised fingers are the talk of the nation. These twisted feet get a standing ovation. Look at your belly, so beautifully adorned. Out of these marks, human race is born. Be proud of your chest. It has won a war. Flaunt what makes you who you are. Titan Raga. I am.
So this whole collection is built on this philosophy, and this is done 2 years back, and we are actually continuing this line. And last year we've done a collection called Raga Love All, which is also focusing on diversity. My second case study on democratizing design is about design for inclusion, and this is in two parts. The first part is about designing a classic. And so the whole concept of inclusion is that how can we design products in a way that we can include a larger set of audience beyond your target group. As a designer, most of the people, they focus on one target segment. We all chase the target segment. But can we rethink the whole process? Can we rethink the whole design thinking process in a way to, over and above those target segments, can we include larger set of people? So that was the whole approach of this designing, I would say, classic line for women. And this we have done quite recently. Although what we have done is that we have taken a very classic silhouette and created a beautiful composition of Arabic numbers. And this is having a cambered dial, which are having a serrated edges, perfectly suited for a young contemporary woman. But what we wanted to do with this collection is to break away from that stereotype of designing for a target segment. So we started thinking design details, like can we alter, I would say, material, processes, finish in a way so that we can include larger set of audience in this whole genre. And with, I would say, asking a lot of interesting question, we have defined the whole material composition, the color and form and finish of the product in a way which is defined to probably suit to a larger audience. And we worked with our technical collaborator, one of those vendor partners, and we managed to develop a watch which has a glowing dark dial. So this uses a proprietary material called Luminova, which essentially glows in night and also at the lower lighting condition. But what it does to the overall product typology in a way that for a young audience, it becomes really stylish watch, but for old, it becomes really functional watch. So just by playing the material, playing with the finishing, playing with the typeface, and just adding certain elements, we can really expand the, I would say, target segment so that nobody is actually compromising on anything. My second study on inclusion is a very interesting wearable which we have recently designed, and this is Fast Track Reflex. While the overall design is very gender neutral in terms of the finishing and the color, but what we wanted to give a digital experience which is for everyone. So we have designed the app for this device. It's an app for all body type. In fact, if you see and probably understand the competition of variables, you realize that everyone is following one large target segment, which is motivated movers, someone who is probably fit or who wants to get fit. But we went one step ahead. We thought, why not include someone who is just an ideal avoider, someone probably for whom the fitness is not a priority right now, whatever the reason. But if we can capture this segment, then we can actually make overall space of fitness more holistic in that way. So what we have done, that we have included a very interesting motivational strategy. So if you have this band and if you have this app, the kind of nudges which you get, the kind of rewards which you get would eventually help you to move a little faster. So this, we have not even considered the active athletes. We have also considered the motivated movers. We have considered the ideal avoiders. So extreme, I would say, the extreme spaces, extreme personas, we have covered so that people would find this app and find this product really useful. And we've interviewed multiple people. In fact, I remember we have interviewed some extreme personas, like really active athletes, just to get their desire and their preferences for the product. And everything has come together in this app which has something for everyone. While this is not a specialist app, but it has some beautiful connection which you could find it. You could build your fitness on this particular device. Not just that, most of the app is designed considering accessibility guidelines. So in a way that this app can be used by someone who is even partially colorblind. So all these smaller details are really important to create a product which is, I would say, really holistic and for it, I would say diversified India and diversified age group. My third case study is focusing on designing for a cultural identity. And I think in today's context, this is such an important thing. And we all know that India is a massive country. I've already spoken about it, some 28 states and multiple union territories. We speak different languages. We have our own cultural and belief system. But you'll be surprised that our perception of color or color sensibility also changes as we move across regions. So just to study this phenomena in great detail, what we have done that a few years back, we have created a Elements of Design India model. So this is an internal exercise wherein we have captured all the jewelry crafts of India and we started plotting them. So whether it's the temple jewelry of South or Banarsi Meena of North or Tarakashi work of Odisha, everything was put in this map. And the sole purpose was to understand the history, context, and relevance so that we can get some really interesting insights for designing our product. And the real great insight have come when we have created this whole material and color affinity map based on India. And this is based on the products which we sell. This is based on data, essentially, and realize that obviously we know that South prefers gold and they love some citrine kind of stone, but the Mid-South prefers emerald and pearl, and up north prefers silver, topaz, and rubies. I think these are the things which we started getting it. But somehow these studies were never conclusive enough because I would say all Indians behave in the same way. So we realized that I think it's really important for us to go to one specific location, understand the geographical preferences, understand that locality, design for that region, so that we can find a very strong emotional connect with the product. So we have started this exercise again 1.5 years back. We thought, let's focus on East. That's a really good market for us. And so we got inspired from Bengal and its beautiful art and craft and literature and everything what Bengal offers to us. So it's such a beautiful palette to get inspiration, and we named it as Forever Kolkata Collection. So whether it is a Bengali script, which is transcending beautifully on mother of pearl dial, or a watch which is built around the iconic Victoria Memorial, the most important, I would say, architecture in Calcutta, or a watch which centers around I would say the Kali Ghat, the center of all the religious activity in Bengal, or especially in Calcutta, or a watch which connects two extreme cities, old cities and a new city with Howrah Bridge. If you see all of these watches, they are not just time-telling devices. They have such a strong emotion, and they define that region. They define the emotional connect of Bengal in such a beautiful way. And so this is our take on diversity for region, and a small video just to illustrate that.
দীর্ঘ ট্রেন যাত্রা করে ফিরে যখন প্রথম হাওড়া ব্রিজ দেখি, অদ্ভুত একটা তৃপ্তিতে ভরে ওঠে মন। বাড়ি ফেরার আনন্দে, এই তো আমার শহর, যেন আমি বাড়িতেই পা রাখলাম। হাওড়া ব্রিজ প্রতিনিয়ত আমাকে রোমাঞ্চ জাগায়, সেই ছোটবেলা থেকে আজ অব্দি। এই আমার কলকাতা, forever কলকাতা।
So we realized that this kind of approach, which is designing for region, People are really getting involved with our brand. They are connecting with the product at emotional level, and they're just loving the whole experience of buying a fashion and lifestyle product. In fact, last year we've done another collection called Nama Tamil Nadu, which means that my Tamil Nadu. And again, this is one state which is so rooted. It has such a, I would say, strong legacy of architecture, tradition, craft. So we got inspired from this state and created some line of watches. Like this watch took inspiration from Kanchipuram silk. In fact, it has genuine Kanchipuram silk created by craftsmen, beautifully juxtaposed with a mother of pearl dial to give a very traditional, dressy, ornate look in the watch, but still you can wear it multiple occasions. We've also got inspired from Madurai Meenakshi Temple, again, one majestic temple of South. And we tried to portray the spirit of architecture in just 40 space. So this is also one of the take of going into local sensibilities and designing something which people love. So just to, I would say, sum up, I broadly talked about these three categories, which is first is design for cause, where I talked about Raga. I am designing for imperfection because this is who we are. Second is designing for inclusion, and how can we really enhance the target segment rather than just focusing on one target segment. We can enhance the target segment by really putting focus on design details and the overall process of designing. And third is designing for cultural identity. We live in a society which is so diverse. And what better opportunity than do something for that culture which you belong to? So in fact, these three broad pillars, I would say, define our own principles of design. And this is the principle which is part of, I would say, democratizing design, which I talked about. First is definitely good design for all. Design for a purpose, not for a user. I think this is the mistake most of the people do, that they just fall back on one kind of user profile and start designing. I think it's the moment you define a purpose to your design would becomes suddenly really holistic. Second and most important thing for me is essentially go beyond target segment. I think the days of following the target segments are over. We have to probably not alienate people. We have to include as many people as possible in our design proposal. And by just clearly thinking, by visualizing design much better, you can actually go beyond target segment without overlooking your core proposition. And third is definitely respect tapestry of culture, because this is what we are. Design for identity, design for emotions, design for people. So these are the three large, I would say, principles which help us to navigate this whole journey of diversity in design. But this is only possible if you have diverse, empowered team. And this is said many times in various sessions on diversity. But this is so true. Unless your team is diverse, unless they have empowered to take a decision, there's no one star designer in the team who's taking the call. There's a mix of ethnicity, mix of gender. You won't achieve this. So this is my humble approach, Titan's humble approach towards diversity in design. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahendra. Wonderful. Actually, we were totally engrossed in your presentation. And the way you are making presentation, it becomes like the Titan is a philosophy, not just designing watches, but it's a lot of things which you mentioned, sensitivity to the need of the people, or it's a cause, not people-centric, but looking for a larger cause, culture, inclusive. And mind you, the watch is a very, very small area where designers have to work. And within that tight boundaries, how you really touching the heart of people from north to south, east to west is, I think it is not easy to democratize that what you have used. It's very complex, and Titan has made a big difference in taking its message of diversity to the world by sheerly experimenting with these value-centric inputs. So I don't know what question to ask, because you have really explained it so well. and I don't see from audience any. But when it comes to really me, because you see, um uh, the jewelry and watches, technology is one side, but when you're doing it, sky is the limit, and you have hundreds and thousands of options. Even if you take it from architecture, take it from textile, take it from motifs and all, but bringing down to final, it must be difficult. How do you really approach? Because it's a complicated thing, and
It is. It is,
out to the last.
Pradyumna. In fact, you are asking me to reveal secret sauce of Titan in some other way. But definitely, what we do at Titan is a very collective approach. And it's not just the design team's responsibility to create products. In fact, a lot of stakeholders, they start coming in, whether it's a marketing team, whether it's a sales team, whether it's a manufacturing team. In fact, every year, at least 4 times, we meet together to figure out what's trending in the world. Can we get inspired from something? Is there a market proposition into it? And everything. In fact, the moment you bring diversity in thinking, even at the design stage, in fact, the pre-design stage, you would probably reach to your outcome more holistically. I think that is the philosophy which we follow. So there are no barriers as such between, when the design team merges with marketing, or in fact, many of those stories which I presented to you, the marketing campaigns, the strategy of the marketing campaign, the names of those things were conceptualized by designers. So in that way, the boundary between design and marketing blurs so beautifully at Titan in some ways. So everyone owns their responsibility, but they collaborate. And same with manufacturing and sales. So I think it's just the collective wisdom, collective understanding of what people would love and how they would connect emotionally is the secret behind how we select stories or go really deep into it.
Wonderful. I know you can talk tons on how this whole design strategy and how this company is really becoming a global leader in space of design. Wonderful listening to you, Mahendra, and I'm sure that participants afterwards, if they want to have any question, they can reach you directly or through Pooja, so you can address their questions. So thanks for taking out time, and
Pleasure.
I know that this is going to be recorded version on Facebook, and people will be watching all over the world time and again. Thank you very much, Mahendra.
Thank you, Pradyumna. Thank you, CI and everyone. Bye.
Over to
Thank
Pooja.
you.